back with part 2 of the RHIL card. And no 2-year-olds, so no Jeffs, but there's been a hard copy already for the review show last Monday, which was sent out yesterday. And there'll be a hard copy for this meeting as well. That'll be out to you tonight, to Goldies. Tomorrow morning to be set from me and a top-up show. And Glenn, what time do you want to leave for RHIL?
Good question, mate. What time's the first?
Right. Anyway, that'll be a question without notice, but we'll let you know whether Glenn is appearing on the top-up show tomorrow or not. In fact, it'll be a nice surprise for you. Let's just wait and see what happens.
It'll be like this. If I win today, I'll be on the top-up show, and if I lose today, I probably won't. Okay, let's just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Which
So,
I'd say means that there's an 80% chance that Glenn will be on the top-up show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'll have 4,000 or 1,000 on with you. I'll lay 4s on. Anyway, I'll be trying to win.
I think that'd be a hard bet to.
Be funny if I was coming the last race, I was winning 500 on the day. I'd fucking lose on it. All right, let's get through these last 6. But this and then the quaddy leagues.
Race 6 to go. And the only question I have for you, Glenn, is there's no chance that Gay will back up for Valor because it's running in the 4th today at Kenzo.
No.
I mean, it's the only horse that's dual accepted and running today that I thought, oh, maybe I better not chuck it out because who knows, she could just turn around and it's running in an 1800 today at Kenzo. Would she run it in an 1800 again tomorrow? But the reason I say
she would.
The reason I say that is because at the end of last night's interview, I said, I'm going to get onto Van Gestel and get these horses scratched earlier. And Friedman said they could, of course, run in both races. So if you try and do that, I will make sure that I run my horse
in both
races.
What a legend. He said, I'm going to do it just to see.
Just to shut you up, which was, it was a pretty funny thing. So we're operating with 4 Valor out of this race. And the market I have for this race is Rousseau, scratched from Pakenham. The last start Moonee Valley winner 8 days ago at $3.50. Karlstad, the last start Sunshine Coast winner at $4.80. Spaltet at $7.50, scratch from today. Solar Apex 8, Seduction Queen 8, scratch from today. Caesar's Palace 9. So they said fast pace, and now that the leader's gone, I surely can't say that. We've got La Jolie Folie in the lead.
Mosey.
Seduction Queen handy from the inside draw. It is 1800, so they're on the bend. Karlstad handy. Caesar's Palace, they've mapped behind those 3, but Caesar's Palace could now take the opportunity to go forward and even try and lead. So there's a little bit happening up front, but certainly we've lost the leader. And Glenn, how do you sort these out?
Well, we got the 2 favourites here, one from Mexico and one from Canada. And I did particularly think, look, I'm a big pot for backing horses off Moonee Valley wins. I think Moonee Valley form, but I just like the style of this horse that day for the tapes. Seems to be racing well. It's 5th up tomorrow. I don't see why it won't be a good chance tomorrow, number 2. But I thought my main play, my biggest result in the race is going to be number 1. I just think it's a forgotten horse. The market's given up on it, and I expect it's a horse with out of the Wallace stable, obviously, but proper Sydney credentials. And whilst it's been a bit disappointing, at like 5 to 2, 5 to 2 and 6s. So tomorrow it's going to be $9, $10. No one will want to even talk about it, and it's going to be my best way. At this stage, I'm 2 from 1, and barring 7, which is the Canadian form, I reckon the rest are just dead set ants.
Caesar's Palace started $6 in a Saturday race last week.
Who did?
Caesar's Palace.
That's a terrible race.
Bluff and bluster. Well, it's like Liberty Sun's SP, isn't it? They're a funny race.
It only started that price because it's out of barrier 1 mark.
Yeah. It box seated and obviously was thereabouts at the finish, but it has actually got 2 short Saturday SPs, because if you remember when it came to the 2000 off the off the provincial wins, it started, $6 or something like that day as well. So surprisingly for that stable, he's got 2 short Saturday SPs. Gord, can you see anything in this race?
I got 4 Valor on top.
Okay, all right. You're saying it all. You're having a nap.
Well, I noticed that number 8 Sebastian Queen back in distance, Mark. So it's obviously something of interest there. With that
well, it's one of those. It's a bit of a scuzzy race, isn't it? Because you have a look at the team that Russo beat. It's like raced at Moonee Valley, stayed at Moonee Valley, but it is Waller off a win. It's 8-day back up, and it's J-Mac, and the other one's a Waller off a win as well. Karlstad, who beat that thing that couldn't walk on Wednesday. It finished midfield. What's it? Not Chief Brother. The thing I tipped in the 2100 on Wednesday. The thing that J Parr rode, Glenn, that just settled out the back and Calm Brother or something couldn't get warm.
Yep.
I
can remember.
Do you have that Karlstad is stabled at Flemington?
Stable at Flemington?
Yeah,
races Queensland.
Yeah, now it's racing.
When it comes back home, it comes halfway home.
Yeah.
I got Gold Coast in ratings to win.
Oh, okay.
Where have you got Flemington? Where are you
it's
looking
on
at Flemington?
RaceNet.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't know what day it was.
Yeah, that's
anyway, look, they've set it up so they wouldn't know what day it is. So that's really what the comment I'm making.
Where did you have Mark?
Gold Coast.
I got Gold Coast, and this one went too.
Yeah. Okay. So
big hello to the boys here at Racing.
Gord's opting out. I hate this race, but 2 from 7 for hate both of them. I probably prefer Karlstad to Russo, but
Then why don't you say 7 from 2?
Well, okay, 7 from 2. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for sorting that out for me.
I try to work out how your mind works. I've got to also say, I thought you hate Russo when I was talking about it. And then you go, I'm tipping 2 from 7, even though I like 7.
Well, it's one of those races where I hate everything. I mean,
I understand, Mark. I understand.
Number 1, you mentioned it's carried J-Mac, T-Berry, H. Bowman, and it's getting worse.
To me, you're the most exotic dried plant on the planet, and I'm just trying to get some water on you so the customers can say, oh, look, life there.
It's pretty funny. Solar Apex has got 3 provincial wins. It's got a win at Wyong.
This is what the market's going to think about it, Mark. I'm just going to
win at Wyong and 2 wins at Gosford.
It'll be a bet for me.
Russo started its life at Warwick Farm at 20s in a midweek maiden, and then went for a spell and came back 15-8 and got lapped. Caesar's Palace, well, we know it. We've already discussed it. La Jolie is a Perry horse that last started in the Tari Cup. Karlstad, we haven't seen in Sydney since its early days when it ran around in a night meeting.
God, I got him going again. I cranked him up to go to the referee runner.
Sorry, I'm
trying to get a swim in and do the form. Oh, fucking hell.
There isn't a city winner there, is there? There's none.
Yeah.
There's not a horse that's won a city race.
There it is.
So, yuck, poo. Moving right on. Race 7.
There'll be one after tomorrow. Do you want to go through them again? Number 1.
Shut up. I'll put you on overtime. You'll be doing 2 top-up shows tomorrow. Race 7 is another staying race, 2,000 metres, the 78 this time. Born a King, $4.80. Camabel Fee at $5.50. Waiter at 6, Welsh Legend 6, Jazzland 9, the Guru 10. Speed is, well, yet again, what have we lost here in this race that was going to be part of the speed, because I've already crossed it out. It's Jesse James. So Jesse James is running today. So it's brought the speed back to average. And I have Jazzland leading, Lady Loves to Gamble and New King in attendance, Welsh Legend getting into a handy spot. But Lady Loves to Gamble with the blinkers on, J Parr might make a play. So just bear that in mind. Glenn?
Again, beginning of the show, I said it was a tricky program, and I think this is a really tricky race. So I've landed on 11 on top, guys, because I think the stable's going well. I know you had the one failure during the week, whatever horse that bloody was.
Yeah, everything was.
Yeah. I think this horse is a line chaser, and I think it'll appreciate the dry conditions, even though it goes particularly well in the slow. 11 on top to beat Polly Gray, who I thought had a good chance here. Number 3, Polly Gray. Did a Polly Gray
Polly's got a
first
few
up.
more wins to a name, but yeah, okay.
But just like had the run over 1400, had a little look around, threw it back to the trial, straight up to 2,000 meters. Exactly what he did with Polly Gray. I think it parks in a nice spot. Found J-Mac, and has got a chance. 11 from 3.
Gord, are you having this race off?
No, I'm back in number 1, Weta. I love it when your first race in Australia is a win, powerful through the line, and probably not at your peak distance, and probably with a lot of upside off that win too.
Good narrative.
Snowden's flying at the moment, so the feed's really good there at the moment. Easy, just have something on it around that price range. Not a big fan of any of the rest. Aren't they just all numbers? Maybe this one isn't a number.
Maybe 11's not a number, good.
Yeah, that's a chance.
Well, hang on, 11. Okay, it came off Wyong to go to Canterbury, and it didn't find the fence, so it did nothing. And then it used its Canterbury
non-fence run.
But what's the word? Acquaintance. It's acquainted itself with Canterbury, and it stays at Canterbury and just slides up along the rails. Glenn, you'll see my market tomorrow, and you'll see it hard in the. I've got it hard in the market. I can't get rid of it. So I'm just
devil's advocate. Your favourite friend.
It's slightly race, Mark. So
look, I know. You'll see my market, and you'll see 7 or 2, and so I'm not hating it. I'm just like saying it didn't grab me, but yeah, it's lightly raced, and it's going to poke along there. And the horses I like in the race are Welsh Legend and Born a King. Born a King just ate up at the stablemate that had a PR, complete PR. In fact, Too Much Caviar and Francesco Guardi, they had every chance, and this horse just owned them.
I'm just not sure whether Too Much Caviar is form, Mark. Yeah.
Well, it was Too Much Caviar doing, having all favours.
Yeah.
So I
think we can get through the quaddy leagues here, and we'll have the winning number, and we'll all agree. I think we can put in 1.
Yes,
the narrative was brilliant. I think we can put in 3, 4.
Yeah, and
11.
Okay.
Pretty easy. We're all in that little happy place in that race. No one's vetoing or anything.
Race 8, 1,500 metres, and Francesco Guardi, the horse I mentioned earlier, is 420 equal with Too Much Caviar. Waihaha Falls 550 deficit. The 3-year-old 550 Liverzier at $7. And there's a Reduced choice here off the wet track there. It's double figures, Green Flash I speak of. The map
will be back in it.
Is above average speed, Too Much Caviar hurtling across to the lead, despite going up in distance. Francesco Guardi sitting on its back, and High Baller, Handy, Liverzier not too far away. Seems a bit cast in stone, that map. What do you got to say, Glenn?
I think one's the improving. I think it sits on the back of the leader, who I haven't got a great opinion of. Too Much Caviar, a bit like Good. One's my top pick. Obviously, 6 is definitely a bet. No matter what happens tomorrow, I'll be back in, and I expect it to run a good race. And I'm hoping for a good push from Gord. And I thought the only other winning number was possible. Right at this stage, 168. There I am.
Good.
This is the easiest bet in the world. Number 6, Green Flash.
Yeah.
Like double figure odds in this. These are a bunch of walkers.
Yeah.
This horse, it's a Redoubt's choice on which is a very sort of, they couldn't do anything on this particular occasion at Canterbury. Yep. It's got upside. It's lightly raced. Jay Collette from Barrier 2. I love that. I'll give you some figures on Jay Collette now. Barriers 1 to 3. He's had 278 runners for 48 winners, plus 10% on SP, which
wow.
is probably making 30% if you have any idea how to bet.
He loves the rails, doesn't he? And remember that horse of Joe Pride's that he tried to put through the rails there to get through up underneath them when you first spotted him, Glenn, at Canterbury. I can't remember the horse's name, but it was one of those, Joe Pride little doers, and he just went, come on, up you go, son. Like just ran into the backside of the thing in front of him, basically.
Well, not as good as that race we were watching in Spain. Was it the Spain race?
Oh, that was
Well, it was like that, and the Spain race was a fix, whereas this wasn't. So, Jay Collett, that's very interesting, Gord. Thanks for that. What can I say? Well, I've marked it $7 green flash. It's wrongly priced, isn't it? Is that all you got to say, Gord?
Yeah.
Obviously, so it's T Clark to J Mac, Francesco Gardi. That's in its favour, but I mean they're tied to each other, eating too much caviar, and I think it pulls them apart. And I went to Waihaha Falls, which I thought was an extraordinarily good run back at the 1300 on that program. Posted all the way on the up and in track, and up to 1500 here, second up off a break. So zero luck at Gosford. Freshened up, 1300, poke around Rose Hill. Now it's in the right race. It's got a great chance. I don't know why the 3-year-old is single figures, because if you have a look at I realise it came from the back at Hawkesbury, but if you have a look at the horses he beat, he wouldn't feed any of them.
What horse is that, Mark?
Deficit.
Yeah, just for the people at home.
And first up, I did that race at Newcastle, and he was like, didn't have a price first up at Newcastle. So quaddy wise, I want
definitely 6 and 8 are going in.
6 and 8 are going in. Which
sounds right.
Do we put in one because it's JMac?
I think we just put in one and that's it.
All right, 1, 6 and 8, and too much caviar. She scratched it from a longer race 6, and a race today at Kenzo. I don't know what the story is there. Why wouldn't it go up in distance? It goes 13, 15. It needs at least 16, if not 18, or if not 2000. Anyway.
168, guys.
It was so disappointing. Too much caviar last start, and there was so much resistance to it in the market.
It's got the same smell as that So United to me.
Because they're both in red. They both race in red colours.
Where are you going, Gord?
Gord's gone. Yeah, well, it's only 8 races tomorrow, guys. So that's the end of the program.
Right. Race 9 is down to eight runners.
You've got Euro Dozzy. It's a tricky look.
What's that?
Doesn't matter. European budgie smudgers.
The Euros. But normally those blokes, you've seen them. They're always brightly coloured. They wear the brightly coloured little swimmers, little skin tight swimmers, don't they? Do you get them down to the eastern suburbs?
We kill them if they come down here. We're like the Cronulla riots down here. If them blokes, we chasing me out the streets.
The Bra Boys, you and the Bra Boys.
Oh yeah, the Bra Boys.
Race 9, Catalan $3, Big Boy Roy $4.40, Brutality $4.80, Canasta $6, Oxford Tycoon $9. And they say fast pace. Canasta leading, Pandano, Oxford Tycoon taking a trail. That sounds a bit steady. So I'll say above average speed. Next two, they've got the brace of Wallers, So Wicked and Big Boy Roy. I thought Catalan could be in front of those two. But anyway, Brutality obviously out the back. Weird race, Glenn. What are you going to do here?
Oh, it's a strange race, guys. When I finished the race, I was hard against Catalan. I was hard against Big Boy Roy, who I've told everyone is just a complete number. And I gave up on it a long time ago. And I was all feeling quizzy about Brutality number 1. Look, I've fallen on Canasta, mainly because of the parade, because it did come back so well, and I think getting a bit of control tomorrow, it might just zip. I do think it'll go straight through it. I finished up with it on top number 7 to beat number 1 Brutality, who is in his happy place at Rose. 7-day back to 1400 metres, but goes from Calf to Regan. We said we wanted to back it next start if we went to a bloke rider, and here it is. But tricky event.
Yeah, that's okay. That fits the bill, doesn't it? Brutality. Oh, it's back in distance. It's a bit weird, but Kathy to Reagan is good enough. But
I'm 7 from 1.
It is a back marker that probably needs to sting out of the ground. What are you going to do, Gord?
I'm pretty sure there's just 2 chances. I'm 1 from 7. I'm totally. How's Catalan 2-1?
Because in the Newcastle race, benchmark 88. So this is an 88, and this is back to Rose Hill. She started 3:30, and in that race, Brutality started 50s, Grand Piano started 20s and dropped out. Pandano started 20s. Yeah, and as I said, it was 3:30. So it's back to Rose Hill.
I don't give any weight into SD's mark, so you can imagine me off a
very
disappointing
the
last start.
The marketplace is going to do it.
Yeah, the marketplace is going to do it, and I wouldn't take $7. So I'm definitely betting in the race.
But okay, so wasn't it the case that Newcastle? It's a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird track, and it came out of 5.2 that day. So if you have a look at Catalan, she wins on a 3.8 first up at Kensington off the long spell. Then she goes to a 6.8 at Rose Hill and paddles. Then she resumes on a 2.7 at Rose Hill, and then she goes on to a 5.2 at Newcastle and paddles. So won't the market say tomorrow will be hard and fast because we've got this
Okay, well, I just shouldn't have talked to you about it because you just graded me up. I thought it's your job to grade Glenn up, not me. Okay.
Look, I've marked it 350. I'm very ambivalent about it, but I'm just saying that it could well be that this horse needs it really, really firm.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just a narrative. That's all it is.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It does have some good wins in its career. I'm not going to.
But there's zero form out of its first up win, isn't there?
It's just it's lining up.
Barry Breeze, poking home. It's poor old Silver Rose. It couldn't even get out of the barriers at its next start.
Look, I probably, although I'm 1 from 7, I'm only going to back one because I get exactly what I want, except for the backing distance, which is a slight query, as you guys mentioned. But last time Regan Bayliss rode this thing, it provided a figure. It was at Rose Hill as well on a 4.4 that would dead set beat these by about 6 lengths. So we've got a great little, not only we get the positive jockey change, but we get the positive jockey change with a guy that's done it on the horse before. I'm happy to back it.
Yeah, and he stuck the blinkers on it last week in a race we sort of couldn't win, so that it's not obviously carrying blinkers, not got blinkers on this week.
Yeah.
So it's a sneaky blinker job. But the problem with the horse is that it has to race in the last 2. And that's a bit of a problem. There's a horse here that's 50s, Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
That last time it and Canasta they ran around at 1,500 here at Rose Hill on the 30th of January. And it was won by Brutality. So Canasta was in that race, wasn't it? Am I? Yes. No, sorry, he wasn't. Canasta was in a different race. So I was talking about the race that Canasta and Pandano ran around in together. It was a Randwick Mile, the subsequent start. And Pandano sat outside Canasta and won the race. And Pandano is 50s tomorrow, off the 7-day backup, with the blinkers off, and Perry back in distance.
Look, I guarantee that Glenn is going to back Pandano to win 20,000 for sure. 400 at 50s. It's just a stamp.
I was just getting 200 out of the chart, to be honest.
yeah.
Maybe it's 400 now.
Look, I went looking for 2 horses here, Brutality and Pandano. They're both on the 7-day backup. One of them's going to settle forward. One of them's going to settle back. Canasta's last preparation was just too icky for me. How he kept presenting and never winning. And, it's resumed in that Dodge race at Kembla, which, yes, it, wasn't allowed
any
to
quality
shine.
numbers for these lovely customers?
It's got to be a chance. 1, 3 has to go in. 4 has to go in. Mare off a win.
What do you mean 3 has to go in? Okay.
J-Mac. It's like big boy slug, but I mean, he's...
Okay, 4 goes in. What are you doing, Pandana?
It's got to go in.
5 goes in. 7's got to go in. 8's got to go in.
Listen, punters, if you put FLD on the ticket, they put the field in for you.
Save the ink and go for FLD.
Yeah. What else, Mark? Anything else?
Oh, well, okay. So you could put these in. You could put in 1 and 5. That's your slim ticket. And maybe 7.
1, 5, 7.
Everyone hates Big Boy Roy, is that right?
I just don't think it's ever a bet anymore, but I suppose it's like a quaddy number.
Like, this is
You give us all the numbers, Mike. I'd rather just don't want to leave them out.
one, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So we've left 2 out there: Grand Piano and Oxford Tycoon.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to the
nightcap. Exciting
Nightcap.
race it is. Queen Bellissimo, $4.60. Amiche is $5. Much better, $6.50. Rangers $7.50. El Buena $8. Ramstein $9. Tamerlane $10. And if you're wondering, Ruben Moss is going around today, which is why those prices are slightly shorter than you're looking at
That's right.
Dynamic
And
Odds at the moment.
there's also been 2 riding changes. So Glenn's going on to number 10, El Buena, and J-Max on to number 9.
Very good.
That's just a joke.
The
Just
map.
joking, Mr. Van Kester.
The map. Finally, we've got a race for the lead here. Now they've mapped Queen Bellissimo in the lead. She's won 4 races, all of them leading. But Ramstein has to lead to do anything. Much better probably has to lead to do anything. And Amiche is stuck out there, coming up from. She's a fast ex-Queenslander that is up from 1100 and has to go forward. The way they've sorted them out is Queen Bellissimo leading much better, Ramstein taking a trail, and Amiche 3 out without cover, 2 big Fari just back underneath them. But the game's on.
Absolutely, game's on it. And I
just love this race. Go on, Glenn.
You love it?
Yeah.
Oh, you go first then.
2 chances. Queen Bellissimo to somehow survive all that shit.
Yes.
Because she returned so well.
10 El Buena.
Well, that's half a chance, 2.5 chances. Tamerlane. It's obvious Tamerlane. Won his Saturday race last preparation. It was his first preparation as a gelding. Of course, he won first up as a gelding. And he comes off a proper Saturday race. It's Huey just getting the right pace shape in this race. Fresh. Bing, ding, ding, ding. El Buena gets a chance. I hate its form, but it's J-Mac just smoking away there and being cute. I don't know. What do you think, Gord?
Tamerlane on top. I'm not as confident as you are because I think it's a real tricky race. But when I'm getting double figures about a blue fresh, who has all things you mentioned, like some good runs before it went for a spell last preparation, decent trial. Map wise, just loving it in the last race, except for the fact that normally you want to back the leader in the last. Obviously, that's true. Pearl, isn't it? But that's like it's stuck a pace. So.
Well, I suppose if Karen just goes, see, it's interesting what that boy said. Scott said the other day about riders, and would Karen's not gung ho. So if Brenton was on Ramstein, we know that Ramstein has to lead. Now he sort of, I suppose the narrative could be that he sort of looked like he found the line there the other day. Well, nothing actually found the line, so it'll be okay if he takes a sit, and Karen's just the man to just flop out instead of being gung ho. So. That allows Queen Bellissimo to get to the lead. Much better is in a completely different race tomorrow. You had a picnic the other day. And Amiche, well, she's very unlikable. She won a particularly bad race, but she did win it at the same track. But now she's got no sort of, he could get one out, one back. That would be the best that he could hope for. What are you going to do?
Easy race for everybody. There's only 3 numbers in the quaddy. I've got very similar numbers to you, Mark. I was 13, 10, 8 originally, but I'm going to really focus hard more on 8 because I thought your narrative was brilliant.
All right, that's
they're the 3 numbers in the quaddy, guys. 8, 10, 13, or do you only have 2?
That's barring any late riding changes, Glenn. Is that right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I thought you'd like that little joke, Lamborn.
Oh, especially if it was the last race at RHIL.
Very funny. And one of the same horses in the race. Even though it's out now.
Yeah, there you go. The inquiry was concluded on Ruben Moss, so everyone will be glad to know that. But I didn't actually realise that Ruben Moss started $3 in that race.
Yeah,
it's a shock to me. I just didn't. It didn't sink in. It didn't seem real. Because anyway, that's.
I haven't got a best bet for tomorrow, guys. Just
you haven't?
No, not a best bet. No.
All right. What about you, Gord?
I don't think so either, Mark.
I'll give you three in the front half. I'll give you Shihonka. I really like Sacramento, with a nod to the blue colours in that race, but it's my danger. But Sacramento and I Am Power, race 4, number 4.
I think a lot of you. I think you're top of the class today, Mark, for narratives.
Thanks, Glenn. That's very kind of you. That's because I haven't had to do 2 meetings, which would have absolutely screwed me. So best of luck to all of those you playing Kenzo today. I'll have a little look, but can't get across it. And we'll see you back here for a top-up show tomorrow when all will be revealed, as much as we can know before the event. So see you then.
And if I'm not on it, means I lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you guys.